Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply straight talk.
Let me ask you a question. Do guys like a feminine or masculine woman?
I would say feminine, but not overly masculine.
What does that even mean? So, are you saying she has to play down her intelligence at times?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she should be feminine, but not have too much masculinity.
So, in other words, men don't know what they want from a woman.
I just told you what we wanted. See, it's that simple. Men are that simple.
You know what? Let's just agree to disagree.
About what? I thought we were on the same page.
We have a great show for you today. So let's get the show started with your host, Reggie Maddox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox. And today, we're going to be asking the question, do men want a feminine or masculine woman? Now, when I first started this conversation, you always got to do your research. You always got to try to look and kind of get different views and viewpoints of how people think. And clearly, this is one of those topics to where people are just not going to agree on every aspect because there are different ideas and ideologies about, being a feminine woman, being a masculine woman. Then, some men have different viewpoints as far as being masculine and feminine, so it's a lot of ideas out there. And it just seems that over the years that it has changed. I think at one point in life, it was pretty clear that, what was feminine, what was masculine. But we're at the point now to where feminine is insulting to some women. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel that telling a woman that she's feminine should be insulting? Or as a woman, do you feel like, a guy saying, hey, you're very feminine, would you be insulted by that? So, it's like, is there a line you cross when you call a woman feminine? And does it mean that you're insulting a woman when you say that, she's feminine or you prefer a feminine woman? Or if you tell a woman that she's too masculine, do you think she should be offended by that? Women, do you feel like it's offensive if a man tells you that you're masculine or you're exhibiting masculine qualities? See, this is the whole thing about it. And we're going to try to dig into this a little bit today to kind of try to figure out, as much as we can, try to come to an understanding of, the whole feminine and masculine thing. And then, you got some women saying, I have to be masculine because maybe the men they with are not masculine or they're not doing what they feel they should be doing to take a masculine role. Then you got, some men who are saying, well, you know what? You're too masculine. I can't deal with a woman that's masculine because what you consider to be masculine is not masculine. It's just overbearing. So those are the things we're going to talk about, man. We're going to talk about these things today. Try to get a little bit of an understanding of where we're going with this thing. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's go ahead and first of all, let's just have a brief, small educational moment, okay? Because this is how the dictionary defines feminine, okay? According to the dictionary, Webster's Dictionary, feminine is having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with women, especially delicacy and prettiness. In other words, she's womanly, she's womanlike, she's ladylike, she's girlish, she's female. Now, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, before somebody jumps down my throat, let me go into the masculine. Then I'm going to come back and kind of explain that. And hopefully by the end of the show, we have a little bit of an understanding of why I feel that was not insulting. Okay, now some of you may agree, but, We got to let everybody voice their side. Always try to hear people out before you launch the assault attack. Okay? And the next thing is masculine. Now, this is the definition that they have given for being masculine. Having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with men, especially strength and aggressiveness. Okay? A good example is being virile, macho, manly, all male, muscular, rugged, robust, brawny. Now, those are the two definitions we have for feminine and masculine. Now, the thing about it is, when you're talking about dating, let's take it back. Let's take it back. If we go back, let's say to like the 40s and 50s, I think at that era, if you go back prior to the 70s, yeah, let's say prior to the 70s, back to like the 50s, 60s, going back, maybe back from the 50s going back, okay? But, because I'm not going to get into the whole feminist movement thing. I've done that before. I think I beat that horse. I'm not going to get into that. But that does sort of play a part in this. But I'm not tackling that today. But the thing about it is, let's say if you go from the 50s going back, there was a certain way that men and women saw each other. And neither perceived it as being insulting. Such as, a man was required, you had to have this ruggedness to you. You had to have this toughness, okay? That's what it was back in the day. As a man, you had to have this ruggedness. You had to have this toughness. You had to be able to, stand up, have your chest out, be proud. But you also had to understand how to be soft and kind with the ladies. So the way you were with the guys is not the same way you interacted with your lady. You treated her with gentle hands. Like, you didn't shake a man's hand the way you shake a woman's hand. You see what I'm saying? Because today, I tell you right now, when I shake a woman's hand, and this has actually happened, okay? I was introduced to this person. So when I walked up to him, stuck my hand out, shook their hand. And she was like, oh, your handshake is not firm. And, I'm kind of looking at her kind of like, okay, but you're not a dude. You're a lady. Okay. She's like, yeah, I like a man with a firm handshake. Okay. In my mind, I'm really just kind of blowing her off. And I'm just kind of like, you're a lady. Okay. I'm just going to leave it like that. But the way a man addresses another man when we greet each other, it is much firmer. It is a more aggressive handshake, a more aggressive shoulder bump. You know what I'm saying? So we don't greet women the same way. So back in those days, it was a certain way that men behaved with each other. But we understood that when it came to the ladies, you were not aggressive as far as trying to manhandle them or anything like that. It was a more gentle thing with the women. Because the women in those days were more feminine. And when I say feminine, I just mean like, it didn't mean that they weren't intelligent. It didn't mean that they were dumb. It didn't mean that they couldn't handle themselves. It just means that they carried themselves what was considered to be a lady. They wouldn't walking around holding their crotch and spitting and trying to talk with the dudes and be all manly. You know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of women now that curse more than guys curse, okay? They walk like men. They act like men. They address issues like men. So they just don't have they don't have the feminine qualities that you would consider most women had back then. So it's just a difference. It is just a very strange difference of how things have changed over the years, how things have just went from men, you be masculine. You be masculine around other guys, okay? Around women, you are to be gentle. You are to be respectful. And it just changed. And I think back then, that is what really made guys chase women. Because you had that feminine quality, that feminine trait that you liked, that you looked at. Because it wasn't about look, it was the way she carried herself. To me, a feminine woman is so attractive. A feminine, intelligent woman, She's not trying to be a man. She's not trying to act like a man. She's not trying to be manly at all. She's just being a woman. She loves wearing her perfume. She loves her hair being done. She don't mind wearing a dress. She don't mind wearing a skirt. She's a lady. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in the same token, as men, we have to understand that if you have a woman who's feminine, you can't act like they're weak. Or you can't give the impression to them that they're weak. It doesn't mean that a woman is weak because she has feminine traits. She's a woman. That's one of her gifts. That's one of her strengths. She's a woman. She's feminine. Respect it. You should be honoring that. You should be loving that. Not some woman walking around, what's up, dude? What's up, cuz? What's up? What's up? Huh? What we doing tonight? Dude, that is not attractive at all. For real. Come on now. But you got to understand that it's changed over the years. It's changed. The way men and women have taken on the masculine and feminine roles, because you're now seeing more men picking up feminine traits, more women picking up masculine traits. And the thing about it is, I don't know if this is taking place because maybe women are feeling like they have to be more masculine to get a man now. I'm wondering that because when I worked at this retirement home and, I was a security guard and there was one of these nurses who worked there. Well, she was more of a caretaker, but we was talking about like dating and stuff like that. And when when we was talking about where she go to meet guys, she was like, oh, I go to the strip clubs, the football games, she was saying she does all the things that men do. And she was starting to take on those manly traits. So, it was kind of like she was becoming more of one of the guys than actually being a woman. And not saying that a woman can't do those things, a woman can go wherever she wants to go. That's all fine and good. But when you exchange your feminine side for a more masculine side, you may not get treated the same way you think you should be treated, if that makes sense. But I'm going to go into some details about that a little bit later. But the thing about it is, you have to be really careful about what traits you pick up. And this goes for men too. This is not just about women. If you're a man and you're saying that you don't feel like women treat you like a man, are you behaving in a masculine manner? And that don't mean that you're being authoritative and you're bossing her around or telling her what to do or laying hands on her. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Being masculine means just the way you carry yourself. Because saying if you're masculine, now to me, being a masculine man means that the way you talk, the way you act. If you see somebody disrespecting her, do you step in? Or does she got to step in and hold you down? You know what I'm saying? When you go through a door, do you open the door so she can walk through? Do you do things to show her that, look, I'm the man. Something's broken in the house. I got it, babe. I'm going to take care of that. The car, I got it. I'm going to take care of that. You do things to make sure that she's taken care of. And it's not always about money. And I think that's the misconception. I'm going to get into that too, because some women think that masculinity evolves from a man being a provider, and that is the foundation of masculinity. No, it's not. No, it's not. So, masculinity is about the man being a provider, okay? He's being a provider in so many ways outside of money. It means that he's helping take care of the house. He's helping make sure that the car is running. Everybody is safe. That's part of his job. He's a role model. A masculine man is a true role model to his son. His son can look up to him and say, man, Pop is always doing this for Mom. Pop is always making sure Mom is like this. Pop don't let nobody disrespect Mom. Pop walks around, checks the house at night, makes sure the doors are locked. Pop makes sure that he's outside working on the car, taking care of the yard. Something gets in the house, Pop is getting it out. That's what your son should be seeing. How you treat your wife. Those masculine traits. And it's the same thing for a woman. A daughter should be looking at her mother and saying, well, you know what? Mom is cooking. She fixes the plate. She sits there. She talks to dad. She hugs on dad. She's caring. Mom sees dad going out. Dad's looking a little rough. Mom corrects it. You know what I'm saying? So it is not just about cooking. I didn't want to make it sound like that. That's not what I was trying to say. But it's 50-50 when you understand that when you talk about masculine and feminine, it is about you being who you are. It doesn't mean that a woman got to be spitting and cursing and drinking beer. It doesn't mean that a man has to be changing his voice and switching and crossing his legs and putting on fingernail polish and makeup and wearing women's perfume. No, it doesn't mean that. When you're masculine, you're confident in who you are. When you're feminine, you're confident in the fact that you're a woman. You like wearing dresses. You like being ladylike. You're a man. You're masculine. You're rugged. Okay? Yeah. And you show your strength when it comes to being a good man for the family, for the woman that you're with. All right, guys, we got to take a quick break. And when we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get further into this. And I'm probably going to make some people mad, but y'all know what? That's how we do on the Simply Straight Talk Show. We always take on the tough topics, and this is no different.
Don't even think about it. We got more straight talk just for you.
Hello, Simply Straight Talk family. If you are enjoying this episode, at the end of the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And why not share this with a friend? Also, visit our blog at newlifenewmind.com, where you can find additional articles on more great topics. Stay tuned. The show will continue right after this message.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the second part of the Simply Straight Talk Show where today we are talking about, do men prefer masculine or feminine women? In the first part of the show, we gave a little bit of a definition, kind of went back in a little bit of history of how feminine women were perceived earlier and masculine men were perceived earlier. But now we're just going to dive right into it. We're just going to get straight into the mix. Now, let's just be honest right here. And I think this is something that the men would be able to agree on. Now, you hear a lot of women who do carry the masculine trait say they particularly would say this, that it takes a strong man to handle me. That's what you're going to hear. It takes a strong man to handle me. Now, me personally, I don't think a man should be handling a woman in any way, especially a grown woman. If you are a grown woman, you are about your business. But it doesn't mean that you need to be handled. See, we handle problems. We handle children. We handle money. We handle pets. But a man should not have to handle a woman. Okay? Now, there's a difference between a woman being strong as far as, look, I'm intelligent. I handle my business. And that doesn't mean that I have to be loud. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to boss you around. I'm in control because I got a controlling mentality. You know what I'm saying? Or, I'm going to say what I feel when I want to say it, and you just got to take it. That's a big difference between a woman who's saying, listen, I'm a strong woman. Strong in meaning that I know how to take care of I can handle my money, okay? I can handle my bills. I can handle my family matters. And I'm confident in who I am without having to be ignorant and boisterous. Put it like this. Let me put it some way so everybody can understand. You don't have to have the attitude of these reality show women or a Cardi B with this vulgar mouth and all this vulgarity and all this, sexual overexposure. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have that because you don't have to do it like that. Because if you have that mentality, okay, yes, you might look good and men may date you, but they're not going to take you seriously. You're not going to be the type of woman they say, you know what? This is wife thing right here. You're going to be that hangout chick. You're going to be that chick that I kick it with. You're not going to be the one that the guy looking at him saying, that's wife, I got to wife that. Because that's the person you want to take anywhere. Because in true reality, listen, in heterosexual relationships now, one person has to be masculine, one person has to be feminine. Because if you're dating a real man, okay, a real man, he is not going to deal with a masculine woman trying to out-masculine him. Have you ever noticed when guys get together, there's a respect line, okay? There's an unseen respect line between guys because we have that masculinity to know that, listen, we cool and all, but bring some women into the picture. Bring some women into the picture, and you're going to see the mentality start to change of those men when women come around. Because now it is a masculine struggle with the men because each one wants to show that, look, I am masculine. I'm talking about real men now. I'm not getting into that other stuff. I'm talking about real good men, good, decent bros, homies, you know what I'm saying? So real men are not going to downplay their masculinity to a woman because we don't even downplay our masculinity to each other. Put it like this. Let's say me and Kalita Smith are dating. So a couple of guys come over, okay? We're going to play basketball, talk business, or whatever we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Kalita comes in the room. You are not going to out-masculine me in front of my woman, okay? You know what I'm saying? You are not going to put on the show in front of her. Guys have a rule, you know what I'm saying? You respect another man, okay? That means you don't try to buff up and show out. So it's the same thing if a guy is dating a girl. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're not in control of who you are. It doesn't mean that you're less of a person. It just means that there's a time and a place for everything. It means that if you're a woman, be feminine. That is such a great trait. Do you know that you can get more from a man if you know how to use your feminine trait? It does not take sex to get a man to give you what you want. And put it like this. A lot of women are saying that, you know what? Oh, my guy's not romantic and, oh, he doesn't take me here and we don't go to these type places. We only go to bars. We only go to games. We only do stuff that guys do. Are you too masculine? Think about that. Because if a guy knows that his woman, he has a feminine woman, he wants to show her off. He likes that. Because it's the way that she carries herself like a lady. There's just something magical about a woman who carries herself like a true lady. She's intelligent. She's smart. She knows how to hold a conversation without having to dip down and pretend like she's a man. She don't have to out-masculine and pull testosterone in order to prove that she can hold her weight. With a smile, she can move. She can clear a room with a smile. You know what I'm saying? She can draw all eyes on her. But then again, if she's got that masculine trait with that big mouth, she can also make everybody look at her and just look the other way and want nothing to do with her. See, there's a difference between having a woman that you want to take and be romantic with than a woman who you feel like we can't do nothing but sit at the house and chill or go to some game because you're too loud and you're too obnoxious. So you got to know the difference. If you want to be that romantic type girl, get that romance, then you got to be a feminine woman. I'm just telling you. This is just me talking. Now, some men may agree, some men may not. Some women may agree, some women may not. But the bottom line is, it's the truth. All right? It is the doggone truth. If you want to be treated with the romance, and if you want to be treated with the sensitivity, then you have to be a feminine woman. And stop looking at feminine like it's such a bad thing. It is a wonderful thing. That is what makes a man go after a woman. I'll tell you what about me. When I go out, if I see a woman that is feminine, that is the most sexiest and attractive thing there is. It is so sexy and attractive because it doesn't mean that she's not intelligent. Because oftentimes they have that intelligence and they have a way of expressing themselves. So it's kind of like you want to pull the chair out. You know what I'm saying? This is your lady. And the feminine traits are so alluring. It draws you in. Whereas the masculine traits kind of make you want to sit back and like, yeah, if I ever want to just go hang out and just be wild, that's the person you take. But if I want somebody to chill, cuddle, that know how to talk, then you want the feminine woman. That's the woman you want. Because she understands that her being feminine doesn't mean she downplays who she is. She don't have to sit there and talk stupid. She talks intelligent. She can make you feel like a man. She makes you feel comfortable. And in turn, the man understands that, you know what? I'm going to make her feel like a woman. I'm going to let her know that she is a woman. And that is a beautiful thing. She's a woman. She has to be on a pedestal. I'm going to cater to her. What you want, baby? What you need, baby? You need a foot massage, baby? Baby, what? You know what, baby, when you come home, I'm going to have your bath water ready. You relax, you chill. I got this tonight. See, a feminine woman brings that sexual just presence that's just, it's like walking into Bora Bora or one of these like islands where you go into and the beach just captures you. That's what a beautiful feminine woman can do. When I say beautiful, I'm talking about from the inside. From the inside, her inside. And the feminine characteristic traits on the outside just bring more. So that's what I'm saying, so you got to be careful, because when we start talking about feminine and masculine, women, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to beat you up, but I'm just trying to be real about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men are not going to really want to kick it with a masculine woman. And put it like this, to be truthful with you, if you find a guy who really does go for masculine women, this is a guy that pretty much wants her to be in control and handle all the business. This is a guy that doesn't have a voice. This is a guy that's going to let you fight all the battles. You can call him a simp. You can call him weak. You can call him feminine. You can call him whatever you want to call him. But basically, that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. If you find a guy that really does go after masculine women, he wants to be controlled. And a real man does not want to be controlled. He wants a partnership. But he wants a woman by his side that knows that she is a woman and comfortable with being a woman. Not a woman trying to act like a dude. He don't want another bro. You know what I'm saying? My woman should not be my bro. She should not act like she one of the guys. If I want a guy conversation, I hang out with the guys. But when I'm with a woman, you know what I'm saying? That's my lady. She should feel like she's my lady. She shouldn't be walking around smacking and acting like the dudes act. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Come on. We got to be real about this whole thing, y'all. Hey, listen, we got to take a little break, and we'll be right back after this short message.
You're listening to Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
All right, guys, we're back with the final thoughts of today's show, and we're talking about, do men prefer feminine or masculine women? Now, I understand that everybody has their own choice. Everybody likes what they like, and you got to respect that, whether you agree with it or not. Whether it's a family or friend, and you don't like the choice they make because you may not think the person they with is the best for them. But in reality, the truth of the matter is, people are going to like what they like for whatever reason. We may not understand it. We may not agree with it. But ultimately, the final decision lies with them. Hopefully, they're not making a choice that's going to hurt or harm them in any way. But the thing about it is, I think we have to learn to understand that times have changed. And because of the way times have changed, because of a lot of the political activism that is taking place, there's a lot of women who really do feel like they have to take a more masculine role. Now, I'm not saying that some men, I'm not going to say all men, that some men are not at fault for this, because some men have decided to take a more feminine side of life. Some men are not being masculine. Some men are not stepping into the role that they should be stepping into when they get into relationships. So some women are having to fill those shoes. Now, it's really hard to say, because there's a lot more I wanted to say about this, but you only can say so much with a certain time limit. But the thing about it is, when you're dating somebody and they're masculine, you have to find that balance. You have to understand that if you're a masculine woman, you got to understand that your option with men, especially if you're dating a real man, and I'm not talking about one of these bad men, lazy, good for nothing. I'm talking about a true man, a good man out here doing what he can do. And he's actually, working and living, trying to make a life for himself. A real man is not going to compete with a woman about being masculine. He's just not. He's not going to compete with it. He's not going to try to compete with her. He's not trying to fight that fight with you. He's not trying to come home to a masculine woman. He wants to come home to a feminine woman. And that don't mean that this is some weak woman sitting at home, with his shoes in one hand and a pot and pan in the other hand. No. It's just a woman who's intelligent, strong in who she is, and she doesn't mind the fact that, listen, she's okay with saying, when my man comes home, I want him to see a feminine woman. I want him to know that he has somebody soft and loving that he can come home to. And it's just like a man. A man is the same way. Being masculine doesn't mean that when he comes home, or when, when his wife comes home, that he's sitting there on the couch with his feet kicked up to him, go get me this, go get me that. No, a masculine man is going to handle his business. A masculine man can get in the kitchen just like a woman can. A masculine man can clean just like a woman can. But the thing about a masculine man is he's doing what he can to make sure that the house is in order, so that the family is taken care of, or him and the wife are taken care of. He is ride or die for the woman that he is with. So I think a lot of us are getting the whole feminine, masculine thing mixed up to where we're thinking that, just because a woman is feminine means she's weak. No, that's a strength. That's a strength that a man doesn't have. Even a man who says that, I think I'm a woman, or I'm transitioning into a woman. A natural woman, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but this is my opinion, so it is what it is. There's just something about a natural woman who has those feminine qualities that's built into her. That's her. That just you can't compete with. It doesn't matter how much makeup or wigs or clothes you put on. It's her. And she's intelligent with it. She's strong with it. So being masculine doesn't mean you're being disrespectful. Being feminine doesn't mean that you're being weak. So what do men prefer? As I said, it's going to depend on the person. But women, I'm just telling you this. If you're a masculine woman and you're saying that, you're a strong woman, you too much for men to handle, men can't handle your voice, men can't handle the way you talk because you talk too real, you might want to check yourself. Because it may not be the fact that men can't handle with you. You just might be exhibiting behaviors that men don't want to deal with, because it's more problematic. And it just creates an atmosphere that a man would say, I don't want to come home to that. I don't want to be out in public and deal with that. So you have to be mindful of what you're portraying to people. So when you start classifying yourself as I'm too strong of a person or I'm too masculine, you got to kind of check yourself sometime. And the same thing with men. You got to watch this sensitive stuff, man. I know men is tough. They tell us, express yourself, don't cry. But then, I need to see that side. You just got to find out, you just got to show it, but don't show it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to read minds, man. Hey, that's it for today's show, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Look, we tried to have fun. I try to make it fun. Please don't take this. I was not trying to offend any race, gender, group, or whatever. These are just my personal opinions. I love everybody. I have done shows about the LGBTQ community. I know it's more to that. You know what I'm saying? So I believe let everybody live their life, but you know what? You got to be able to have these conversations, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. All the love and support, man. It is so wonderful. So I will see you guys next week.
That's this week's episode. Thank you for listening and being a part of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. We truly appreciate your support. Be sure to visit us at simplystraighttalk.com to join the conversation, access show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content on Patreon. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join us next week for another episode.